playing below our potential.
Quick throw. Intercepted. Van Ginkel. Down the sideline. Touchdown.
Yeah, I got to take care of the football. Can't turn the ball over 3 times and win in this league.
Rodgers over the middle. It's high and picked.
Obviously, that was below my standard. I just found out I've never thrown 2 picks in the first quarter before. So that's a first. We're slow starters. We're, too many mental errors. And just too many mistakes in general.
Big third down for the Jets. Rodgers, an old friend, gets him.
3 turnovers for me. It's definitely out of character, and I'm disappointed. I'm definitely banged up.
Rodgers, quick throw, and it's intercepted.
So we got to start faster. We say it every week. What's the magic recipe for that? We're going to go spend some time this week trying to figure that out. There'll be a lot of people outside the building who won't be sticking with the Jets. I'm confident in our guys. I'm confident in leadership, and confident we'll get this thing straightened out.
I'm gonna be honest, man. People get tired of hearing the same every week, bro. So people just gotta start taking accountability from the top to the bottom. That's the main thing, bro. That's all I got to say for real.
Oh boy. Oh, hello and welcome to another episode of Three Cranky Jets Fans. I'm Joe Close-Morone, and here with me, Trisha Close-Morone and Matt Callahan. Trisha, Matt, quite a weekend, quite a beginning of the week. How are you guys doing?
Is anything happening of note out there?
Nothing.
I thought we'd get together and talk about the weather. I don't know.
Yeah. There's more hurricanes happening coming to Southwest Florida. We're here in Durham, North Carolina now. It's beautiful.
New evacuation spot
Really?
to watch the Jets suck
Nothing
from.
much going on.
They sucked from Charlotte. They're sucking from Durham. I mean, this is a
Sucked
special.
from London.
They sucked from London.
Jolly old London.
Oh my gosh! It doesn't matter where we watch them. We've got the shirts with us. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm fine. Just doing great.
Well, today we're going to talk about, we're going to review the Jets-Vikings game, of course, in New England. Then we'll talk about a bit of news. There's been some stuff going on today. And finally, we will preview, like we always do, the upcoming game, Bills versus Jets on Monday Night Football. Let's get into it. Jets versus Vikings in London. We're going to try to get into this a little quicker than normal because, there's a lot to get to with the news. So, first, Jets lost 23-17, had a chance late in the final minute to tie it up or even win it by 1 point. But the Vikings ended what could have been a game-winning drive by picking off Aaron Rodgers for the 3rd time in the game. Matt, you won with the score predictions 24-17. You were 1 point off. Very nice.
I'm the big winner.
Oh my god! There was a point where I thought the score was going to sit at 0 the whole time. Like we were at I think we were at halftime.
For the Jets, you mean?
For the Jets, yeah. I thought, wow, we've got to get better at our prediction skills. Like, but they pulled it together and gave us a little bit of a show.
Seriously, they came out really looking flat, and especially on offense.
That seems to be a theme this year.
Yeah, 27 minutes of just utter ineptitude to start this game. But they did come on before the end of the half. The Jets scored a touchdown. And then after that, things seemed to really kind of be coming together. It still looked like a slog through it all, though. Every drop back, every run, it was just so hard. And I mean, the run, forget it. This is just not happening with this team.
No.
We're seeing the offensive line plays just atrocious the past 2 weeks. They're missing blocks all over the place, simple schemes, and it just looks bad. Trisha?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Last week, not this week, but the previous week, we had a chance to win in the last minute. And then this week, we had a chance to win in the last minute. And I don't know what that says about the game or about the Jets. Like if they're just I'm curious. I'm curious what you guys think about that. Like this is I don't and I'd like to go back to the previous weeks.
Yeah, I mean
It,
it's a point to. I mean, we're going to talk about it in a little bit with the Robert Saleh firing, and that this team has not been up to snuff, so to speak, but they have been in it at the end of these games. But the Broncos, they really probably should have thumped. I mean, it's coming to light that the Broncos defense is good, but they still are not playing up to what everyone predicted that this team should be capable of with the talent on this roster. It doesn't make sense how poorly they've been playing.
Matt, did you enjoy the game on
Yes.
Sunday?
No. Not at all. The only thing I enjoyed about it was that it was on early in the morning so that it was over early and
Uh-huh.
I could enjoy the rest of my day
Yeah.
without the Jets shitting on it.
Yeah.
That was pretty nice. That
Yeah.
was very nice.
I think at the very start of the game when we just saw it messy, I like put my hand over on Joe's shoulder and I was like, I'm sorry. And he's like, it just got started.
Yeah, we were less than 2 minutes into
He's
the
like,
game.
2 minutes in. What do you mean? I'm just like, I'm sorry.
They were
You could-
unprepared to play, and maybe what that all tells me too is that if they started every game ready to play with a game plan, that they'd have a better record. Since this game was close at the end, Broncos game was close.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? What do you make of that? Do you think like it's just like they're not prepared and they're just screwing around out there?
I would blame it on coaching because it seemed to be a problem last year too.
Yeah, it's been a problem for the past 3 years, pretty much. I mean, these slow starts in every game. I mean, it's been kind of expected that the offenses would be bad because we've had such horrible quarterback play. But this is the year where we were supposed to be seeing everything change. And the offense is supposed to kind of take charge. The defense has always been, despite being good, the first quarter and a half are a little kind of shaky. They take a minute. They take that time to kind of get in a groove. And during that time, allow 13 to 16 points, and then they shut everything down, which is fine. If you're, as long as you're allowing only 16 points in the NFL, that's amazing. We'll take that every day. But on offense, they've got to come in. I mean, and be ready to go. That first drive, you should be ready. That's what you've prepared for the whole week, and to see it week after week after week with an MVP quarterback.
The first week they came out ready to score, and they did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Well, we're
Not
going to
right
have
away.
to check our sources. I have a distinct feeling, like how sometimes memories are attached with a feeling, where like, and maybe it was just the first night jitters, but I remember feeling like, yeah, like these guys are ready to go.
I think we were very excited. I think they got a first down and then stalled. There was a holding penalty, I believe, on John Simpson.
Okay,
brought
all
them
right,
back.
all right.
Maybe
You're
they got
showing
a field
off
goal.
right now. You're showing off. I'm
Um,
like, I have a feeling in my heart that there was some good stuff happening, and you're like,
They were moving the ball. We were excited about that.
They were moving the ball. Anyway, neither here nor there. It doesn't matter because they're not doing it now, and they haven't been doing it. And who the heck knows if they ever will do it? Will they
had
ever
an
come in?
awful start last week, and then this game, when it was like they learned nothing from the last loss and came out the exact same way and just came out and looked awful again right away. And
Looked
that
awful.
is just like has to come down to coaching, I think.
I totally agree with that.
I think we all have to talk about the.
I think it's
Big
time
ol'
to just move on.
Yeah, let's just talk about what's actually going on right now because that game is now in history.
Yeah. So as of this morning, a message from Jets owner Woody Johnson. I believe it was broken. The news was broken by. I'm not even sure. It was broken on Twitter, but A message from Jets owner Woody Johnson. This morning, I informed Robert Saleh that he will no longer serve as head coach of the Jets. I thanked him for his hard work these past 3.5 years and wished him and his family well moving forward. This was not an easy decision, but we are not where we should be given our expectations, and I believe now is the best time for us to move in a different direction. Jeff Ulbrich will serve as our interim head coach for the remainder of the season. He is a tough coach who has the respect of the coaches and players on this team. I believe he, along with the coaches on this staff, can get the most out of our talented team and attain the goals we established this offseason. Holy shit.
Did he tweet that?
He did tweet that. Yes,
No, he did not.
He did.
He said, "Holy shit."
No, I said holy
Oh.
shit. Yeah, so Robert Saleh is out. Jeff Ulbrich is in. How are we feeling?
I mean, it was shocking. I did not expect this in mid-season from Woody. And I wish it would also send the offensive coordinator packing as well. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't understand what's up with Nathaniel Hackett just keeping his role. I don't get that. Isn't it his
He's
fault?
Aaron Rodgers' friend, I think. That's why.
And so that matters? Does that matter?
To Aaron Rodgers, it does.
To Aaron Rodgers, it does.
But
yeah.
Isn't this Nathaniel Hackett's fault?
Probably not in Aaron Rodgers' eyes. Maybe
but is it Aaron Rodgers' team?
Hammered.
Yeah.
So
that's Aaron Rodgers' MO.
Some of the issues that we're seeing have been issues that we've been seeing for the past 3 years that really, at this point...
Like the penalties?
The penalties, the unpreparedness in general, lack of accountability.
Can we throw back to last week's game?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a point in which Joe leaves the room. He's like upstairs playing monster trucks with our son because the game is just horrible. And I am listening and watching kind of in the kitchen. I thought at this point it was time to check out, right? And then I'm kind of listening. I'm like, oh, I didn't know there was a penalty for that. Oh, I didn't know that was a penalty. Like I had this whole education last week alone on different types of penalties, all from the Jets.
We'll bring them all out of the woodwork for you.
I was like, honey, did you know that this is a penalty and that is a penalty? I should have been writing them down. They were like, it was special. I mean, I know we talked about this at end last week that the penalties are a Jet special, but perhaps the coaching is going to tighten that up. What else is the systemic issue though that Robert Saleh? So we've got defensive line stuff. He's done well.
Defensively, the team has done well. But when you're looking at a head coach, you have to bear in mind that he's in control of all of it. So if any one part of the team is failing and failing continuously, he is ultimately responsible. While Nathaniel Hackett is basically just like having nobody there as an offensive coordinator. I mean, your offensive coordinator is Aaron Rodgers at this point. You can't exactly fire Aaron Rodgers, but Robert Saleh is the pulse of the team, essentially, and he's done nothing to hold anybody accountable. He's, like I said before, he's been a cheerleader for this team, but never wanting to ruffle any feathers. And I think at this point, even the players are saying week after week, we need accountability. When your players are saying that in opposition to your head coach, then there's signals that he's lost the locker room. When Quincy Williams, one of your top defensive players, is saying that, who is a leader on this team for sure, and he is as jovial as they come, then you've got a real problem. And I understand why this had to happen. I believe that it did have to happen, but the timing is weird as hell.
What do you think about that, Matt?
I mean, nothing ever changes and you have to make a change. So, but the timing is weird. And I did see a clip earlier of ex-head coach, the man genius, Eric Mangini, talking about how, like, if this team goes to London and loses and embarrasses Woody Johnson in front of his English friends because he was ambassador to England, like, it's got to be a problem. So maybe that's part of the tie big, or I don't know.
Man, genius strikes again, huh?
Strikes again.
Gets something else right.
But
in
I
his
mean, I
career.
like Saleh, but something has to change, and nothing ever seems to change. All last year, nothing changed. I mean, yeah, you lost Aaron Rodgers the first game of the season, but they never seemed to do anything about that all year long. They just tried doing the same thing every game. Nothing changed.
Right.
This year, same thing. They're making stupid penalties. They're making stupid mistakes. They're constantly just punching themselves in the dick. And for the game last week, and then to go right into this game and do the exact same crap that they were doing the week before, you got to do something, or the whole season is lost.
Do you guys think that like Nathaniel Hackett feels pressure now with Saleh gone?
He better.
So
He better. And there's a lot of people out there saying, why is Hackett still there?
Including
He's
me.
not safe right now.
Yeah, including me. I just feel like, I mean, yes, Robert Saleh is likable, and like, so that's right. All three of us are like, yeah, we like him. He's fine. He's
I
like,
don't care about liking him.
oh, yeah, I don't care about liking him. Like, can we please use this roster and do something? I think Jets fans all over were like, this is the season, and then it's the same old shit. So yes, I don't care about liking him anymore. He's clearly going to go enjoy all of his millions with his 7 children and have a nice life. That's fine. I guess I want to know though, like, it just feels like if you're gonna wash out the head coach, you better be ready to make, like, I don't know anything about Jeff Ulbrich. Is that his name?
Ulbrich.
Jeff Ulbrich. Tell me guys about Jeff Ulbrich. I've got nothing on this guy.
Former player. I believe he was a linebacker.
I think
maybe
so.
for San Francisco. Yeah, I mean,
Any head coaching experience?
no head coaching experience. But last offseason or last season, people were saying like he's definite head coaching candidate. This guy is likely going to be one because his players love him, the other coaches respect him, all that stuff, and he's got a really solid defense. He seems to have a really good head on his shoulders.
We don't need a really solid defense right now. We need someone to take our offense and put together a play that would score a point.
We need a solid defense.
I mean, we have a solid defense. I'm like, we had a defense guy. It didn't work out. We have an offense guy who sits on his hands. I would like to have a guy who can do it all.
They can't just bring in someone right away.
Right. You can't
the
bring
only other
out
option was
like an outside option. So there's literally nobody inside the building that knows how to run an offense at this point.
I mean, it's so sad.
Just hire our dog Ollie to do that. He'll probably run circles around everybody.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Put him in the run game. Strap a football to his back.
Just
Score.
let the dog run down the field. My gosh. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That's the kind of creativity we need.
Yeah. It's so hard for me to believe that in the whole building there's no one else who could do these things. But maybe this guy's
You
good.
can't just like bring anyone in like who's just in the organization. Like you need to have someone higher up, like the defensive coordinator or the offensive. Usually those are who get elevated as interim when they fire a head coach, right? And God forbid, like we can't have Nathaniel Hackett be the head coach. So
No.
Right.
that's why it has to be Ulbrich.
Yeah, and the head coach doesn't necessarily need to be offensive minded. He just needs to have a handle on everything. This needs to be a boss, essentially.
Yeah.
That's what the head coach is, really, an administrator and a game time situational awareness manager, right? You help develop the scheme on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. But ultimately, that's on your offensive and defensive coordinators. And the head coach will approve or say that they want specific things in there most times. But only a few head coaches are directly dialed in to either side of the ball at every aspect. Some do that, but it's not many that do it successfully.
I wonder if there are okay, I'm just going to ask this question in my very own way because I don't know how else to word it, and it might come off strange. But there are people within organizations who study the psychology of leadership, right? Like that is their whole task, whether it's looking at like Enneagram numbers for personality typing or like leadership is its own content sect within growing organizations and strong organizations. And so I'm just wondering, like, could they personality type some of these people and say, this person not only has the skills and the knowledge, but they also have what it takes to be a great leader or a boss, who could be the boss? Like, because I think the ability to influence and guide people is something that we've measured, right? And so who's doing that? Is there a psychologist on deck
I don't know.
doing that?
They do have. I don't know for that level. I'm sure there's got to be some sort of something. Usually, you go based off of these head coaching positions. Go based off of reputation, who you've worked with, who you know, and your body of work. That would be interesting to know if there are like
People
certain
on
tests
staff.
that for players like coming out of college. They do have testing. Usually, it's like processing speed testing and things like that, and mental acuity. But a lot of that's been either debunked or there have been outliers that have proven those tests wrong. Like what's his name on the Texans, CJ Stroud. He tested horribly on all that stuff and broke records as a rookie QB last year. And just everybody's like, well, I'm not going to bother with that testing, essentially. So I don't know how much stock they put into that sort of thing. A lot of it has to do with reputation and portfolio.
What do we know about this guy's reputation and portfolio? Jeffy Poo. What do we know about Jeffy Poo?
I mean, mostly what he's done with the Jets as the defensive coordinator.
And how long is he? He's just interim.
Just interim. But he's got 12 games now.
So I think I just want to get like a general consensus. How's everyone feel? Like, you happy about this adios to Robert Saleh, or?
I feel conflicted. Going back to like they should have done something with Nathaniel Hackett. He's not out of the woods. Ulbrich has the power to fire him.
Yeah, okay.
Ulbrich now has 12 games to prove himself as a potential head coach, whether that's with the Jets or another team. I think that's nice to get that opportunity with him to see how he does. But if Ulbrich wants to stay a head coach or wants to do well this season, I think it would behoove him to really put the screws to Nathaniel Hackett in this offense. And Keith Carter, too. This offensive line's been garbage, and he's the run game coordinator and offensive line coach. Yeah.
I mean, number one,
lay on them.
The running game going, because if they don't, this season's over.
Yeah.
Because every game, it's the same thing. It's like it seems like they're third down and long right away every down. And
yeah,
that's it.
Well, and how about those interceptions last game? I mean, that was like new level interceptions that we have got to run the ball.
Yeah, 3 interceptions is not good. I think Rodgers dropped back like 55 times out of 71 offensive snaps. That's no good.
I noticed he didn't do his cadence thing.
No, he did.
Oh, he did? I was waiting for some like magical cadence sound. And
you don't really hear it too much, but when he's letting the clock go down to 1 or 0 all the time, that's him trying to draw the defense offsides. Yeah, that's what that is. You don't really hear it too much, though.
Anything else going on in the NFL?
What updates? Do you have any updates on Davante Adams' show?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
does he want to come to this shit show?
So apparently it was kind of between the Saints and the Jets. Derek Carr is injured now, and the Jets just like fucked up the world in the NFL. So I don't know. Everything has gone totally dark on the Davante Adams trade situation. Joe Douglas is supposedly in the building today, and it's worth noting that he was not involved in the conversations, apparently, to fire Robert Saleh, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's very weird.
Considering he's a general manager.
How do you know that?
I mean, it's kind of rumor, but fairly reliable rumors, I think. Yeah, apparently he was notified like 15 minutes before it actually happened. And another tidbit that's sort of ironic or funny. Robert Saleh supposedly had decided 5 minutes prior to being fired that he was going to essentially demote Nathaniel Hackett and give play calling duties to Todd Downing, who's the QB. He's the QB coach and pass coordinator.
Did he say that? Did he come out? Have we heard from Robert Saleh since this happened?
Yeah, supposedly somebody's spoken to him and is putting some of these tidbits out there. But those are little birdies flying around the building. Essentially, it's just all weirdness.
This isn't pure. This isn't pure journalism
Jets
here.
are weird.
This is. We'll take a little rumor, little birdie rumor.
Yeah.
How bad is Carr hurt? Did they say?
I don't know. I don't know much about it. I don't think they've got all the answers on that one yet. I'm guessing there's some imaging to be done still, or they just haven't gotten the results yet or announced them.
Oh yeah, guys, what's going on with Aaron Rodgers' ankle? We've got a low ankle sprain. Is this accurate?
I think Saleh said that yesterday, that it was a low ankle sprain, or no. Aaron Rodgers said that. Low ankle. It's not that big of a deal. You could play through a low ankle sprain. And it just takes keeping it warm.
I'm calling for a little bit of Tyrod Taylor. I'd like to see Aaron Rodgers just sit down for a little bit.
They're going to bench him.
You don't think so, ever?
No, they're not. There's no way, unless he's hurt. They're not going to bench him.
His ankle
for
is
Tyrod
sore.
Taylor. Doesn't matter.
His ankle's sore. No,
he had all last year to sit.
Yeah, there's no way that's happening.
He
They've
could play
got to see this thing through.
Legs fall off.
You can't bring somebody that you've just sold your soul for, and then 5 games into it all coming to fruition, say, "No, never mind."
Just a little switcheroo. It's not like
that.
No, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
It's just
If they did that, he'd quit.
Yeah, he'd just be gone forever.
What?
Yeah. And
because
I would
of his
that's
ego?
one of his decisions that
you've been a teacher for how many years? If somebody just said, you take a break for 2 days or whatever, we want to see if this other teacher is better than you, how would you feel?
I mean, if I had literally just taught the children nothing
for 5 days.
For 5 days. And I only had to teach for 17 days? So he's halfway through, not halfway, he's a third way through his whole season, and he's throwing the ball to the Vikings over and
over into account any of the other 18 years worth of teaching that you've done?
I just want to give him a little time out.
You were a Hall of Fame teacher. Mind you.
He just needs a time out.
You've been a 4-time MVP teacher of all the teachers in the United States. And, well, really the world.
All right.
And they're going to sit you, and you're going to say, oh, I'm good with that. Yeah, let's see if this guy does better than me.
Okay. Well, okay. All right. The point's taken.
Speaking of quarterback switches, the Patriots lost to the Dolphins this week. Both look terrible, and supposedly they'll be starting their rookie quarterback with an extremely punchable face, Drake May, against the Texans this week.
Yes. Punchable face. I bet somebody punches him in the face during the game.
And the Bills lost to the Texans, so the entire AFC East is a garbage dump. So that's the good news for the Jets, is everybody else sucks almost as badly as the Jets do. The only teams that look hopeless, completely hopeless, are the Dolphins and the Patriots. So
this
there's
is our
hope.
Year.
This is our year. By default.
I feel a playoff coming.
Actually, all of the AFC looks terrible for the most part. Chiefs won, but they didn't look great.
Well, and the Bills, right? Josh Allen wasn't looking so good.
Yeah. I watched the highlights of the game, but I didn't see the whole thing. I heard he had smacked his head on the ground and
he
went into the blue tent to he looked unconscious. I thought I saw the play, but it didn't look that bad to me. So they must not have shown it in the highlight reel that I saw, because that was what I was looking for essentially. But apparently he didn't look right on the field after that. So
And we play them next week.
weird that he
Yay.
went into the blue tent and then immediately came back out.
Yeah.
With all the Tua concussion stuff going on, feels very surprising.
Yes,
That-
play them this week
that
on Monday
was the
night,
thing,
where
but-
the Jets traditionally do so well. Monday Night Football.
Well, they beat the Bills last year.
On a Monday night?
Would you call
Yeah.
that a great Monday Night Football?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
I mean, they've really set the bar low right now, right? So now wait.
Maybe Trisha gets her
Let's-
Tyrod Taylor wish.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, now I got the lesson about why we don't want Tyrod Taylor.
He's mobile, at least.
He is
I'll give him
mobile.
that.
We got a little.
Also injury prone.
Okay. All right, guys, let's talk about next week. So Monday night game, we're gonna play at MetLife Stadium. Right now, the Jets are just predicted to lose. Woo! So it's looking close at only a 2.5-point underdogs in this matchup. Of course, with Woody Johnson playing the Jets head coach God today, the prediction might change. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about next week. I think the whole Josh Allen looking beat up, that might affect things.
Yeah, sometimes having an interim coach come in or like a change of, energy can pump up a team for a week or two. And you get some surprise wins out of it. I really don't know what to make of all this. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen in this game.
I would say for this game, anything could happen. They could win. They could be completely blown out.
Yeah.
I feel exactly the same way.
Or it might be a nail biter.
I mean, I think you guys have told me this in the past. Like, Woody Allen?
Woody Johnson.
Woody Johnson.
Woody Johnson. That he... Guys, I'm not a name person, in case you haven't picked that up yet. If you've been listening to us for the last 5 episodes, I am not the person who has the names down. Okay, so Woody Johnson is this true that he's never fired a coach mid-season?
Yeah.
Well, that might inform my thoughts about Monday night's game.
Score wise.
They usually do it later in the season, though, which is something to think about.
Firing, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is something. I'd like to look at the stats on this because that would be very, very
That's
interesting.
why, like, week 5 in the season is very strange. It's just really weird timing.
I think Matt's onto something. I think there's a little bit of the ego surrounding.
Well, that was Mangini, not me.
Well, Mangini Matt. We're gonna.
The Mangenius.
Matt the Mangini Whisperer.
I just saw it. So what are your score predictions?
Gosh, I think it's gonna be a fun game. I think everybody is like, whoa, what's gonna happen? So there's that element. I'm eager to watch. Where I think if we were getting more of the same Robert Saleh shit, I'd be like, oh, I don't even care. But now I actually care a little bit to watch on Monday night. Also, we now all actively participate in a podcast, so I can't do my mid-season checkout or whatever. I'm predicting I'm predicting a win. I don't know, 16-24. I mean, so we're gonna win with 24. The Bills are gonna get 16. I know those are strange scores, but that's what I'm going with. You guys, Joe, what you got?
This is total wish casting. I'm gonna go Jets 28, Bills 23.
Well, we got 2 of us going for a win here. Mr. Callahan?
I'm gonna say the Jets lose 21-28. Maybe that'll turn the luck around. But I could also see them losing by a lot. I could also see them eking out a win.
Yeah, part of me is like hoping that Rodgers is played down just to manipulate this whole coaching change, and then they just like light it up. I don't know.
Now he's gonna start playing. You're saying?
I mean, I don't hope like.
There's no way in
sick.
hell.
That would
There's
be
no
sick.
way in hell. There's no way. That is not possible. No. No,
Insane.
no, no.
That would be insane and despicable.
Well,
But I mean,
Has that
he
ever
lights
been
it up.
done?
I have no idea.
No, that's not happening. Also, Aaron Rodgers is like such a read. You can, every single thought he has, you can see it on his face. I can read that man's face in like a second. He messes up and he's like, oh, or like he does it right. He's like, yeah, like his reaction is so pure and raw and all over his face that there's no way he could hide something like that from us. That's my 2 cents on that. But wishful thinking, honey. Wishful thinking.
Well, told you it was wish casting.
And conspiracy theory. It's like wish casting meets conspiracy.
Well,
I mean,
then
We are talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's good company.
And the Jets. And the Jets.
I mean, of course, if it was like Aaron Rodgers predicting some sort of conspiracy, it would be like aliens have come to
to MetLife Stadium. Aren't they playing at home?
Oh yeah, they're playing at home. Sorry.
No, they're playing at home. But the aliens went to Buffalo first. That's probably his thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get back to you next week. See what all this means.
Yeah. Next week we're gonna talk about we'll recap
happened?
the game, and we'll talk about
Who knows?
I don't even know who comes next after that. My mind is just so blown after today still. Anyway, we've done it again, folks. Covered the Jets and Vikings. We've talked about bombshell news about the head coach changes and previewed Jets Bills kind of. That's going to be it for this episode of Three Cranky Jets Fans. Thanks for sticking with us. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. It helps other Jets fans find the show, and don't forget to follow us on social media for updates, hot takes, and post-game reactions. We'll be back next week to recap all the action and hopefully celebrate a Jets win against the Bills. Until then, keep the faith. As always, go Jets.
Jets.
Go Jets.